if you don't have, all the time in the world and you want some good commercial product, there are a couple audio outline companies. There's one called Audio Outlines, there's one called Audio Learn, and then there's Crescendo. Those are really the three main law players that I'm aware of. And obviously I've got a preference for Crescendo because it's my baby, but I'll tell you what we did to try to make it a little bit cooler than some of the other audio, and far, far better than the audio that I recorded for myself. So first off, it can take a lot of time to create audio outlines. And it can also take a lot of time to come up with mnemonics or memory hooks. Mnemonics can be acronym-based, they can be phrase-based. Going to elementary school, like never eat shredded wheat was how I remembered, northeast, southwest on a compass. And everyone's had mnemonics in their life. And there's some mnemonics that are more involved than others. There's some mnemonics that are called memory palaces, where you use your spatial memory, you visualize a place, and you visualize things that represent key concepts. And those are things that can be so valuable for retention, long-term and immediate, but you don't really have time, to put together yourself. And so Crescendo we've spent tons of time in creating what we think to be are the best mnemonics in the industry, and include memory palaces. If you're familiar with Sherlock, there's some of that kind of vibe is what we're told by students. But part of the reason for this, when you create something for yourself, obviously it's going to be memorable, right? Because you created it, you remember what got put in, you remember what got left out, you can fill in the blanks, you can use a little bit of shorthand, and it's fine. And so one of the challenges with any commercial product is how can you make it memorable, even if someone else didn't create it? How can you make it so users ultimately feel like, oh, that's my outline, I'm so comfortable with it that it's as good as if I created it myself. Plus, it didn't take the time to create my own. And so mnemonics and memory palaces were a way that we feel like the listener can create with us by visualizing places and things, and kind of seeing things in their mind. And so we spent a lot of time on mnemonics. We have expert professors, vetting, confirming accuracy. We use audio flashcards, which are basically like a buddy, sitting beside you, quizzing you on the key mnemonics throughout a course. And so we took the basic summary audio that I had kind of come up with during law school, and we made it even better. We made it into an audio flashcards where it's hitting the same critical stuff, but it's in an audio flashcard form. And so you're asked a question, the audio pauses long enough for you to think through or verbalize the answer, and then confirms the answer and moves on to the next question. And so as far as I'm aware, there's no other audio flashcards on the market from any other law school study aid outlet. We also have classical background music, optional classical background music for each subject, and we use different songs, with the theory being that can further aid in chunking. If you tune out for a second, you tune back in, you can go, okay, I know we're still in the context of negligence because the negligence song is going, and it's not super dominating. And there's been research about music helping with study, and it's kind of a two-edged sword. You have to do music right for it to be helpful. If it's too dominating, based on your level of sensory tolerance, it can be detrimental and distracting. But if it gives you some rhythm and can keep you engaging, then it can be helpful. But we certainly recognize not everybody can study with instrumental music in the background, and so we provide both the non-music and the music versions of all of our audio. So those are just a few of the things that really separate our product from other companies. And again, if you have the time, you can make your own audio outlines. I mean, even if you're using something like Crescendo too, it's a good process to go through, and it's a good way to just get out of the library for a little bit, go to the gym, and mitigate your pre-test anxiety. So I swear by it. I actually, the crummy audio outlines that I made during law school, I shared with my study group, because we shared all of the outlines that we created together, and that was also another benefit. I mean, that's how collaborative we were, and I benefited from their outlines. They told me they liked my outlines, and actually when I graduated, and this is kind of what got me into starting Crescendo, because my goal wasn't to start a bar prep, law school study aid company when I went to law school. That was not the vision. It's just something that just happened naturally because of the things that helped me when I was in law school. When I graduated, I'd still have classmates ask me, like, did you take that course? Do you have an audio outline for that course? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And I just kind of hand them out. But they weren't very good in that they weren't very, they were semi-accurate because obviously I did well in law school, but not as accurate as commercial product can be when you've got, multiple layers of protection. And then they didn't have mnemonics and things like that. They weren't recorded in a professional setting and everything. And so, but just knowing that people wanted my crummy audio outlines just helped me realize maybe there's a market for this. And actually, when I was studying for the bar, a good friend of mine came up to me and said, hey, I will give you $50 a subject for your bar audio outlines. I hear you have bar audio outlines. And I've been using another commercial product, and the bar audio outlines that I created were just for my own personal use because, I had permission to use the product for my own personal use, but not for reselling it or any kind of commercial context. So I didn't feel comfortable selling it to my friend, but it helped me realize, look, there might be a good market for this. And I remember him just saying, like, I just want to go golfing today and not feel guilty. And so I really just want, your audio outlines. Can you just give them to me? So anyway, that's a little bit about Crescendo and Crescendo's audio.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.